another episode with Sit with Aksa, where I highlight those people who think they are ordinary and haven't done a lot, and but turns out that they have been through extraordinary changes that needs to be highlighted, even though they think otherwise. And like in my previous sessions, I always start with what's happening around the world. And of course, we all know what's going on in Palestine, what's going on in other Sudan and Congo, all of these areas. Yes, when it comes to those being shadow banned, we always see, we sometimes see that situations are happening, unfolding in front of our eyes, and sometimes we don't see and we go on with our lives. But it's very important that whatever you're doing, like in your capacity, whatever you can, just help them. Even when it comes to your own skills that you have gained, if you can help them, just do it by donating, by raising voice, whatever you can. And of course, like right now, I'm sharing about Palestine because that was one of the cause that made me differentiate between right and wrong. But then again, that does not mean this thing stops here, but it's go way beyond, and it also covers not only people but animals and the environment as a whole. So that's about it. And now, okay, so our legend of the evening and the architecture and also the best gardener, of course, Roma, I had to. Okay, so how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yes, now I'm being known for a gardener, even though I started just like 2 years ago.
Bro, like when I like first it was just Nawal uploading those pictures, and I would see those pictures. I was like, oh my God, it's so amazing. And I was so hurt when I think you grew I think both ही क्या थी recent was something different. What was that?
hmm
Broccoli. Yes, you broccoli. And I was like,
Broccoli.
oh my God, that was so amazing. And you were like, no, I failed first time. And I was like, what? People don't even try. You failed, and that's okay. It was amazing, like what you are doing. Because a lot of people, like in their free time, sometimes they invest in some things and sometimes they just spend their days. But I think what you're doing is very nice. And yeah,
Thank you.
and okay, so yes, she's also Nawal's sister, like Yumna, because I found a way to get into Nawal, everyone that Nawal knows, and I'm just bringing them over here. That okay, just do it with me. Okay, so okay, how's like everyone at home? How's Daddy? How's Auntie? Everyone?
All good. I think because of winters, everyone is barely getting out of their beds these
Of
days.
course. Yeah, it's so gloomy, isn't it
सब
gloomy?
ज्यादातर अपने कमरे में होते हैं आजकल. It's not gloomy, but it's just at night, it's way too cold to get out and do things. You just want to sit and use your phone.
Yeah, I know. I think
So
it's
here I am.
different. It's different in Islamabad, but over here, Karachi, maybe like it has gotten a bit more chilly. But then again, it's always feel like the night
Mhm.
comes in quite like early, so it just get gloomy and stuff like that. Maybe that's me.
Hmm.
I'm weird. Okay. Also, in your the recent achievements of your PMP certificate, which I thought was your birthday, and now we know I don't know your birthday, but that's okay. So how was that, and how did you came about it?
Okay, so I've been telling everyone I took 2 months to pass it, which is not the truth, if I'm being honest. I've been procrastinating about it and delaying it for 6 months now. I
Oh
decided
God.
I'll do it in June, I guess, and now I just registered because I was scared that I might not pass. But it was not as difficult, if I'm being honest. I just didn't have the right tools. I didn't know where to study from and where to do questions, or I actually didn't even know why am I doing this, to be honest, because not a lot of architects go for it. But it just felt like the right thing to do. And I'm at this point where I'm discovering what I want to do next. And I
Hmm.
think if I don't take a step towards one thing, I will never know. So I
Oh
just
yeah,
went
that's
for
amazing.
project
Yeah.
management. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing.
So
So
that's how
is
I
it
know.
Yeah, but is it like, for example, an advancement, for example, something that would complement you being an architecture, or it's just a different route yet you think, okay, I'll just see if this will work or not.
I don't think it's a different route. It's quite similar to what I'm currently doing right now as well. I think you need project management in every other field, be it construction or IT or computer science. Everyone needs project managers. And
Yeah,
maybe it's not useful for me in the current scenario, but I'm definitely sure that in the future it would be very handy because I had never learned about these things. I had no clue about how agile works and things of those sort. I just had basic concepts from offices, what a stand-up is or what's the role of the manager, because I'm currently not in that position. But I think it was a very good intro to this whole field.
yeah,
So
and I
it's
think
it's a good
when,
step.
yeah, when I was even going through your professional exposure, and even in
Mhm.
that, even though it covers like the architecture part, like you're designing and everything, it also came with a lot of project management, like working with the subcontractors and also working with the clients, and you making sure everything flows seamlessly. So I do
Mhm.
think it didn't it like somewhat added even like added to your already experience, even to your work right now?
It did. It definitely did because currently I'm working at construction tech. It's not the traditional construction way. It's a mixture of both. We do have traditional predictive ways as well as the agile ways. So it does help me in the future and as well as now. I have been able to understand things better than I've ever been before. And honestly, I feel I'm someone that takes time to learn stuff. So hence this 6 months of PMP. It took me a, it takes me a long time to reach and understand things completely. So I think it's just one step in the journey of understanding this whole thing that I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's true, and I think I completely resonate with it because even when I was a child, I was always like, okay, why do I have to be awake for 3 straight nights to do this for this one paper? And why is everyone able to do it regardless? Like, why do I, like, why am I so slow? Why does it take time? But I guess everyone has
We're
their
late
like plus
bloomers.
points. Yeah, plus point, but it's okay. We will take over the world one day. Okay. Also, now I'm just going to highlight your professional exposure because, of course, that needs its own place. At the moment, she is a BIM, right?
Bim, yes.
Yeah, BIM specialist that I don't know, but I'll ask later. Where she is developing and implementing advanced BIM strategies and workflows for complex construction projects at Open Space. And previously, she worked as an architect specialist at Disperse, where she managed large scale KSA, UAE, and UK projects. She, like I said before, her work, of course, of 6+ years, she has collaborated with clients and also contractors and stakeholders. And she, when it comes to like site reports too, she makes sure that they are according to the right quality and coordinate. She also coordinate with different subcontractors. So then again, even if PMP is a different route, it's basically adding on to she being a leader when it comes to this architectural space. And when it comes to even her previous projects at Me Architects and Baraka at Architects. Baraka. Yeah, yeah, right? Okay.
Baraka, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So she successfully completed 10 plus projects and also did drawings of concept design constructions. She has skills that I probably pronounced wrong, but I will try. Skills in terms of Revit, Rhino 3D, Autodesk, Auto CAD, and Adobe Suite, and Navisworks as well, amongst many other things. You know, when I read this, I was like, with Roma's design skills. with Yumna's client relationships and sales, and with Nawal's finance brain, you're sitting on a gold mine. Like your three sisters, you're going to do so much. And I was like, what? What is happening? But yeah, it's everything. I think what I've read is amazing in what you are doing. And also when, because I didn't know what BIM specialist did, and when I searched the drawing, it also covers you building 3D models. So does that entails that as well?
So basically, not exactly. Okay, in my current job, we are not designing projects. We are just managing. So it's a construction management company. And Open Space is a much larger company than Disperse that got acquired recently. And it's kind of a transition that we're going through currently. So the roles are a bit not as well defined because it's been very recent, but hopefully in the near future it would be. Basically, it's managing the projects that are ongoing through our platform, which is a construction management platform, and we provide them with progress reports, how the construction is going on sites. Do you have a digital twin of the BIM model along with it? So I'm responsible for the BIM part of all the projects. Currently, we are not deploying BIM in all our projects, but few of them we are. To name a few, we are doing Water Park Hotel, Kidia, and Manchester Hotel, for example. So quite a few projects, but yes, it's just the beginning of the things currently.
Yeah,
We're in a transitional phase.
course. But when it comes to even the BIM, so is it like what I say, like kind of a tool that you use, that you implement when it comes to projects, that you knowing that tool and specializing in that?
Yes, definitely. I think a lot of people think BIM as it's Revit or Naviswork. It's much larger than that. It's basically a digital twin of what's being constructed. So it's a 3D model, it's coordination, it's clash detection, it's everything in one rather than just the designing itself. So, like I
Um,
said, I started with my career with designing, but I've transitioned into construction management more. And hence I opted for PMP as well because I wanted to explore if it's the route that I want to go through. So, yeah, pretty much.
okay, so
This is
what?
what I'm currently
Yeah, but
working on.
why did you like thought of okay, designing is something when it comes to being like that different kind of creativity because you're designing and everything like that. But when it comes to even management, it requires certain type of skills, but both are kind of different, but not really. So why did you decide that
Mhm.
you should transition?
Because I've always felt that designing culture that we've made around architectural studios and these places, it has gotten very toxic. For example, sitting late hours, overworking, being underpaid are norm throughout, not just in
Okay,
Pakistan, but throughout the world. These are the norms.
okay, okay.
So I thought of it in a long-term sense, and I felt that if this is how I want to spend rest of my life, and the answer was no. I do not want to sit till 12 a.m. in the office just trying to finish a project. This is not the life I see myself doing. And honestly, I love designing. I'm still very open to it. It's just this culture that I'm not willing to uh, give into. So that's why that was one of the major reason for my shift. I do enjoy designing. I take freelance projects a lot, and this is how I fulfill my creative side. But other than that, it's more about management from 9 to 5. You do work and and you can do really good work from 9 to 5. You don't have to sit at 12 a.m. just to
Yeah.
work on some design. So I don't know when it happened, but it's been going on since our school days. We have made this culture that we have to stay up late at night just to finish work, which I don't
Yeah.
agree with.
Yeah,
Not at
exactly.
all.
I think even if like you not agreeing, because it's not even like seen as a culture, it's seen as an accomplishment for some people as well. That I stayed at 12
Yes.
a.m. or even 1 a.m. working and this and this is nothing to be proud of. You are you are actually jeopardizing things that matters to you and will help you in your future self. But I think people don't really realize it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So your initial, when it comes to those architecture and those designing projects that had that toxic work culture that you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. In the beginning, I did work in architecture studio. I wouldn't call it toxic because I met some great people there, and our principal architect, he was great. But yeah, it did have the same culture that I talk about, which you can see in every other design studio.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think it's not like toxic in a sense of like people you're working with. It's just that this idea of working late
Hmm.
at night, it's so ingrained already that they don't see even at something wrong with it. And I think people who think and they
Yes,
raise, yeah.
definitely. And when I want to go home,
No, 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 continue, continue.
when I want to go home, I do not want to think of what happened throughout the day and what I'm going to do the next day. I just want to be home and I want to be present. I just want to have a good time with my friends and family and then go to the work next day with a fresh brain. I think that's very necessary,
Yeah.
especially in creative field. I don't know why they thought that continuously thinking about a certain project is a good way to go about it.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think it's
think
an,
that's
yeah,
true.
I think what your mindset is, I think really good in that sense that even when it comes to studies, even when it comes to any other thing, if you spend like throughout the day and you feel like, okay, I'm putting in hours and the more hours I put, the more creative and the more good I get, I don't think it works that way. And that's like, I'm pretty sure going to burst a
Yeah,
lot of
definitely.
bubbles, even mine it did. Yeah. Also, when it comes to even construction project, does it also include you working on site?
Not exactly. We are doing remote site supervision. So a lot of the things that we do are through the computer screens. Although we do have a team on site, but majority of our work, since it's construction tech, a lot of the things are digitalized. A lot of the things we have certain set of procedures, and we don't have to be on site. The site come to us.
Ooh, nice, nice, nice. This is going to go on, the caption, the first line, the site comes to us. But even when it comes to your designing part, even previously, so were you like
Mhm.
going to site, making sure everything is on point, or this is like changed right now because of your own step towards something different?
Yeah, during designing phases when I worked at a design studio, we did have site visits and quite regularly as well. So, but it was mostly for coordination, what needs to be changed, just to see the progress and things of those sort. We were making design decisions on site, but they were usually a few questions the laborers had or the contractor had. Nothing, most of the designing and planning were done in beforehand.
Okay.
Site visit just to see the progress.
Okay. So even when it comes to site visit or even when it comes to this construction tech, do you think it is largely male dominant like many other careers are in Pakistan?
Definitely it is, but I feel since there's a difference of blue collar and white collar job when you go to a site, you still get respected, and even if you're a woman, although there are very few women who do these kind of things, but just the difference in the blue and white collar jobs at site, usually you do get respected and they do hear you out. But other than that, I feel the field itself, the construction field itself, it's very male dominated. Even from the office, it doesn't have anything to do with the site.
Okay,
But
okay,
that's
okay.
every other job in Pakistan.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Like, but have you ever faced like because for a lot of women, it's always sometimes it's like I have to make my position firm, or sometimes women get undermined even when they have a say or changing something. So have you ever had that, situation?
Okay, so I think it's kind of different because I don't have that kind of personality where I like ordering people or be assertive. I try doing my things in a friendlier way. I know how I like to negotiate rather than command. Even when I'm leading, I'm more of a negotiator. I do not like ordering people what to do and what not to do. I do give them you can say if they cross a boundary, I do have a firm say in that case. But other than that, I like negotiating with people when it comes to work rather than bossing around.
Yeah. So when I say that, just telling people and they're undermining, I didn't mean about that in authoritative sense. I just mean that even when you're in a team and you're having conversation and you're putting your point across, sometimes like you feel that, okay, if other person thinks that they're better at understanding or this job, they often undermine. So has that happened with you? Even you as a newbie and something like that, or maybe as a woman?
I think thankfully no, because, and I would give credits to our office culture. It has been very supportive,
Oh,
especially
that's
for
nice.
women or a newbie. So it has been a very, I think I'll give it to Disperse for that. It has been a great place to work in terms of people. They listen to you, even the promotions and everything. It's been quite fair, and they do take your credibility in account rather than your gender.
Okay, that's
So
good.
that's been great.
Yeah. Also, like, I basically asked this because I am part of like this group, and a lot of women share about not only just harassment, but also like this toxic work culture that goes beyond even the differences of being a man or a woman. But if, for example, if there is a woman out there who is exploring construction tech, for example, so what advice would
Mhm.
you give her?
Okay, advice. That's
Yeah.
a tricky one. I think I do believe that you have to approach everything in a positive with a positive attitude. You can't go in a place with a mindset that you'll be undermined just because of your gender or of if you're going in a male-dominated field. You have to go with a positive mindset and just deal with how things are along the way. I think the initial step where you are going with a clear, no biased perspective, it's very important for any field,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, yeah. And same goes for this construction tech, right?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely.
Okay. Also, like I've also seen that you have worked with international companies, even USA, UK, UAE, and like managing from home. And when it comes to even construction, like my brother is in civil engineering and he has to be like from Monday to Saturday on site. But since you're doing remote, so do you think remote working you with them is like different than when you were previously doing on site? Like I know it has pros and cons, but what about like what's your perspective on it?
Yes, definitely. I think it's very different when you're remote, and there are so many things that you miss out when you're remote, even if everything seems perfect on paper. uh, I think it's as an architect and a civil engineer as well, it's very important for you to be on site and present because there are so many nuances that you miss out when you're not. So I want to go back to site and office and whatever.
You
I
do?
am I think my time, yeah, I do. I'm done with remote work at this point.
Really?
I
Oh,
want to
okay.
be present. And it's also about being seen. It's very important to be, you have to be seen in a work environment to be noticed by your peers or your managers, your people you work with. I think it has a very different, you can say, it has a very different outcome in your career trajectory than being remote, I feel.
So when it comes to like like definitely I think working from office is different, but
Mhm.
for me it's like I would still choose working remotely and doing like projects like freelancer projects and stuff like that, because like what you said, I want to manage my own time in my own way. It's for me, it's not like working throughout. For me, it's not like working even 9 to 5. It's about just managing. And even when it's about like showcasing and being out there, for me, it's like, okay, I can work at a cafe, I can go out there, I can manage my own things. But I think with you, what you're saying about being noticed, is it about your career trajectory? Like if you even want to move upscale, so you need to be out there working and be like in the
Yes,
side work of,
definitely.
yeah.
Actually, the thing is, a lot of women do this, and obviously, some of them are mothers, they have more responsibilities at home. But I think for it, if you want to move up that career ladder, you have to be present in the workplace, and it's very important to be noticed then rather than just working. I've seen time and time again people who work remotely or even if they're not remote, even if they're on a hybrid model, if they're not going to the office, the chances drastically decrease. And it's often with women who, obviously, because mobility is not as easy for women in Pakistan, this country,
Hmm.
mobility and the responsibilities at home. So a lot of times you missed out an opportunity for connection, communication, and things that happens at office that goes missing when you are remote. So I think it's important if you want to go through that
True.
career ladder.
That's true. How about
Mhm.
I end this meeting because it's going to end, and I send you another link and we'll join to that. Yes. Okay, 1 second.
Done.
Very nice. I started the recording, but मैंने अपने headphones में very nice. Very profesh. Okay. You can hear me? Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Also, like you were mentioning about, but then again, don't you think that even with your right now freelance projects that you are working on, you can even build something of your own? Like, have you thought about going down that route?
I think in architecture, especially going through that freelancing sorry, going through that freelancing thing, you need to have a very solid set of connection in industry. You need the word of mouth, and you need mobility, and you need uh like you have to be very, like you can say, you have to fight a lot with the clients about money because that's a big problem in Pakistan. You can complete the work, you can do everything, but at the end, there are a lot of clients who would not pay on time, for instance. So it's a big problem here in Pakistan. And I feel that I do not want to spend my energy on that part when I can just make my work better at this point. Maybe later in life, definitely, when I have more responsibilities at home and if I want to take a break from work, I'll definitely consider this. But at this point, I feel for me, there's a lot more to learn. And I think I can learn more and better through this.
Yeah, I was also thinking about like even if you have like freelance work, so you have kind of a backbone when
Hmm.
it comes to funding yourself, but also just setting up in that way. Okay, I have some a backing, for example, my own self, but I can work on my own thing because the way definitely you're talking right now, it's not about like just finding another company. It's also about, it sounds like you're passionate about it, even when designing, even when it comes to site work, although like the timings pisses you off, but it also seems at the same time you're passionate and would want things to change for the better.
Yes, definitely. I think you should be able to enjoy work, but there has to be a limit. I do not live to work.
Yeah,
I work to live. So it's important to have that balance.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're just like, okay, 9 to 5, so work is done, and now there is family.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think
And
for a lot of
I think I've always been the person who have so many hobbies. I want to spend time on it. I want to be able to go to the gym. I want to be able to paint. I want to be able to garden. So there is a lot of things I want to spend my time on rather than just at work. So I
yeah,
think it's
that's nice.
okay to be passionate about multiple things rather than just one.
Yeah, I think I do like relate with this a lot. So after this professional, let's move a step back when it comes to your university. So you did your bachelor's with your sister Yumna, but you did you also did a semester in Malaysia, is that right?
I 2 semesters there, yes.
Yeah, okay. I think it was the same trajectory of Yumna as well. So I think so. And do you think that, I know that I read this on your CV that when it comes to Islamabad, there's a bracket after it, and you've written immediate relocation available. Like you're going to relocate right now. It was so
ये नहीं
fun.
बताना था. The
But
thing is,
also,
I've been trying to move for quite
definitely.
some time. So I yeah, and I think I'm at this point where I'd love to have more opportunities than I'm given in this city. Islamabad does have jobs, but they're very limited. And I feel I would be able to better have more opportunities, even if it's in Pakistan. I think bigger cities like Karachi and Lahore has much more better options than Islamabad currently. It just doesn't have anything except from telecom and maybe a few IT companies going on,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest. So in terms
You're
of
open to coming back
construction,
here in
I think
Karachi?
Karachi or Lahore would be. I am, but it's a difficult choice. If I do get an offer that's very good, I might move.
Ah, that's nice.
So, but it has to be a good enough
Yeah,
offer.
definitely, of course. But also just want to touch up upon, yes, Madhab, of course, when it comes to even career trajectory, you have to see that, okay, even if I want to enjoy my hobbies, there's of course certain kind of work that I enjoy that you have found maybe it
Mhm.
to be me more interactive with people, and that's completely fine. But like, do you hold the same feeling like most of other people that we need to settle abroad for a better quality of life?
I think not for a better quality of life, but to have a better chance at growing in your career. I think it's very important because I feel in construction there's not much going on in Pakistan right now. There have been very few projects. You can see that from the job openings on LinkedIn, honestly. There is nothing going on in Pakistan where they're hire people, and even if they are, they a lot of them are through networking or internal hires.
Yeah.
So the opportunities are very limited.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
And all,
feel just just for me to grow in my career, I think it's important to move abroad.
okay. And also, like, when it comes to even Pakistan, like, it's so true. And that's why I think a lot of people are moving towards this freelancing or this remote roles because, of course, like,
Mm,
even as much as people wants to hide it, money is a very important factor. And with this inflation and everything going just sky high, skyrocketing, it's important that you're able to manage those expenses, right? And to be honest, even like in Pakistan right now, I have seen like people even offering opportunities, and when it comes to matching that compensation, they are just nowhere close, and that's also a big question mark for the, like, people talk about brain drain, like people moving abroad, of course, for work and everything. But then again, if there were that amazing opportunities in Pakistan, then why would people even move? Why would even people think about over
true.
there? You know, Al-
Yes,
also
I think
look,
you have to be very privileged to find work where you were born and good opportunities where you were born. It's a big privilege that people don't talk about. For
Yeah.
example, in Karachi, when I started, it was my first job, to be fair, but when I started, I had to start my own side hustle, or you could say look for alternate options just to get by in that city. And by no means Karachi is an expensive city. There are way more expensive city, even in Pakistan. Islamabad is
Yeah.
way more expensive, but I still had to
Yeah.
find an alternate just to make ends meet. That's
Exactly.
honestly the truth. You can't deny that.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. And a lot of people, like, even if you have conversation, they talk about growth, they talk about all of these things other than the money. But let's face it, like, those things are also important because if you don't
Mm,
have that peace of mind to be able to pay rent, to be able to take care of yourself,
yeah.
how you're going to be creative and that fruitful enough to
Mm.
present your work, best work, you know? So if I give you an example that you got this opportunity abroad, for example, regarding the
Mhm.
work that you are doing, so the best opportunity that you're getting, how do you think that's going to look like for you?
Sorry, the voice cut off in between. Can you repeat?
Okay,
For
I'm just
how
saying.
did that opportunity?
Yeah, yeah. I was just saying, for example, think about that, the opportunity that you have been waiting for, that has fallen to your
Mhm.
lap, and that's like abroad from some amazing company and stuff like that. So how do you think that opportunity is would actually look like for you?
I think at this point, see, I never think of work as my only sole source of fulfillment, and I do want to move to somewhere in Middle East, n- obviously because of the money, and also I want to move and get married to my partner. So that's a big major reason of my wish to move to Middle East. So I think as a whole, there are a number of factors that account in it. There is not one opportunity. I do believe there are multiple opportunities everywhere in the world, and
Okay, let
it's
me put
just
it
about what
this
you want
way.
to prioritize.
For example, got this
Mm-hmm.
opportunity from
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, and that's my
Mm-hmm.
favorite opportunities. And other than that, all other external factors are like, for example, taken into account and everything is all right. So, considering even that opportunities, how do you think that looks like? And not in terms of money, but in terms of work and what you're doing and what your responsibility, like your ideal, that place, that work.
Okay, so just the work itself, I would love it if it has a lot of learning opportunities because I want to see as a growing step, not just the destination. So that's really important for me. I should be able to learn stuff and I should be able to have some tangible skills on that job that can help me grow further. So it's one of the biggest factors. Then obviously the money. I would love to have good money. And I honestly would want to be part of some bigger groundbreaking projects. I really wish to have this opportunity sometime in my life where I can contribute to biggest, for example, tower, if not a tower, maybe uh, an iconic airport design. I think that would be really amazing. And I hope in the future I do get this opportunity.
Okay,
So
yeah.
these are the few things that are, I think, I'm looking for in an ideal
Ideal, of
workplace.
course, scenario. Yeah. So even when it comes to like a tower or even an airport, what's like one thing that you would want to be in the job description that when you see it, you're just like, you know what, I'm packing my bags right now.
All right. I think there is nothing that would make me want to move completely because of it. But I think if I see myself growing in that role, I'd be very interested. And I have found previously roles like this, but it didn't work out. But I think where I would be excited to go to work every day would be really amazing.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a tower, it's just a basic house, but I should be able to enjoy that process. It's, I think, important for me.
Okay. Okay, so what's that enjoy part is? Because yeah, learning when it comes to it sometimes gets super monotonous and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But when it comes to your enjoyment, so is it like, for example, yes, I want to go on the sites and yes, want to work and yes, I want to use tech, I want to design. Like, what does it for you? Like when you wake up, you think about that and you're
Mm.
just like, okay, till 9 to 5, if this is what I'm doing, it's worth it.
I think people make a huge part of your work, so that's really important. Great, smart people to work with. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
Then, other than that, I think something, even if it's not iconic, I would love to be able to learn new skills because I do feel there's a lot to learn in this field and at this point in my life. So, something new, it doesn't have to be new every day, obviously, but something exciting that keeps me
yeah,
going. And once you see, and for with construction, you can see the process, you can see the steps. So
yeah,
that itself is very fun to watch and work, I think.
yeah.
So
And
that
I
would be
think
really fun.
I think your even this mindset of your learning, it resonates a lot with when I had my session with Yumna, because Yumna
Hmm.
is all like, she was always like, okay, I have to see that learning opportunity. If there is something, if I'm a conversation with someone and there is something that I don't understand, I'm just going to go and like search on it and learn about it, because I asked her this question that Roma wants to know. How are you finding these certificates to do? How are you doing that? So that's the answer she gave, that I just see that, okay, if I don't know something, I should know that and I work around it. And
Mm,
I think that like is true when it comes to even you working.
yeah.
Okay, also like even when right now, even when it comes to like, for example, your a younger sister Nawal, she did her bachelor's over here. Why did you choose to, for example, go to Turkey first? And also like, why did you choose even this field, architect? Like, was it like, okay, because in our society, when it comes to a child being a 7 to 10 years old, it's always like women is equals to doctor, man is equals to the engineer, definitely. So was that same for you? Like, how do you choose a different route for yourself?
So I think to give you a bit of background, we were in a school that really promoted and encouraged students to go abroad and move abroad. So that itself was one of the biggest reasons for me going to Turkey because it gave me the exposure and the multiple opportunities that we could have had. So we tried a lot of places. Obviously, finances were a big part of it. So I ended up in Turkey. It was relatively cheaper at that time too. And honestly, it had a lot better education than what options that I had at that time. So that's what made me go to Turkey. And other than that, architecture itself, I wouldn't say it was a conscious decision. I knew what I liked, and it was just the best possible, where you write a code and you try different things. That doesn't work, then you end up with one certain option. So architecture for me was like that. I ended up with because it seemed like I think at that point you're not supposed to choose. You're too young. And I didn't know what I wanted to do.
And that's
And
okay.
I just know what I liked and I just went with it. And I'm happy with my choice, honestly.
Yeah, that's
I did enjoy architecture.
nice. Yeah.
I loved
And
studying it. I loved working on it.
yeah, like even for me, like it was the same trajectory. Like I wanted to be a doctor, but then again, there comes a point that I was like, no, I cannot. And my mother really wanted to be a doctor because my mother wasn't able
Mm.
to get to be a doctor because it was 1%. So at that time, there was like Three Idiots just launched. And you know that scene of Farhan, like Raju, who like he just jumps from a building and stuff like that. So I was just like, Ami, like this aapne, like, have you seen this movie? Ye sab cheezein I have to do what I have to do. And she's like, okay, go do what you want to do. And then I did business and then marketing. even right now, I think that like I was making those choices, and right now I think I'm a completely even different person when it comes to how I
Mm.
want to work and live and stuff like that. Maybe because maybe I don't know, because I think what you go through shapes you and not the struggles, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Also, when I was talking to Yumna, she said that I asked her what it was like living with you. She said that it was annoying. I'm sorry. No, no, she didn't say that. She said that she said this particular thing that it was really nice having, like, for example, someone you know, because of course Turkey is definitely like a city so far away from Pakistan where you know where you are accustomed to. And she said whenever like I would be in my like working studies, because when it comes to studying she was like I had to be this good and stuff like that. She was like Roma would handle everything else, like the room, the chores and everything. So what it was like that, like how was it
I think I
overall?
never thought of it that way. I was just living my life completely separate. I knew I had to make my own food, so I would make one extra dish. So I never thought of it that way.
Okay.
And I was honestly really busy with my own stuff. So I had my whole life going on separately than hers. But I know when I come home, sometimes I had a bad day, and surprisingly, some days I would find hot cooked meal and I would be so happy. I never expected, but it was a nice surprise every time.
From you, na?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Even for her, she is like I don't say to her, but then again, like the way she handled all the chores and took care of the house, that was really nice. Like having someone, and also like I really want to burst this bubble, because a lot of people think that okay, I just want this one opportunity to go abroad and everything would work out fine and they'll be like king and queens of the world. So like I know kid comes with a lot of struggles. So just tell me about, like, if for example I'm someone who is just crazy about going out, who is not thinking about any other thing, so what would you like say to me to burst
I
my bubble?
think I would not burst your bubble because I think going abroad itself is a very rare opportunities and everyone should be able to experience that.
Yeah.
It's worth it, definitely. I learned so much during those 4 or 5 years than I ever did in my life. So it's very
Yeah.
important for your whole character development. But other than that, it does come with challenges like everything, but you have to choose your challenges in life. You can't have it easy here and you can't have it easy there as well.
Yeah.
So pick your battles and see what works for you. But if just about going abroad, I would not burst your bubble. I definitely think it's worth it, but remember it will come with challenges like anything else.
Yeah, exactly, because I think just this idea of moving abroad has become like more of an idea that people romanticize than think about is in a more practical terms. Okay, it comes with different challenges. It comes with you coming home with, just no one, maybe just your room and just darkness, and people do get changed and people have come back. But I think just want to experience that from someone who has already, because I do believe that everyone in this world should spend like 2 to 3 years
Hmm.
living alone, so that it helps
Definitely.
their character development. Because if they didn't, like most of people like in Pakistan, they never realize what it means when it comes to being responsible.
Yes, that's very important. And also, I think I was the one of the first women in my family who got this opportunities. I could not be ungrateful about it. There was not a chance. So
Yeah.
whatever I got, I took it with a smile because that I knew I was very privileged to have that. So
So
yeah,
was
no
yeah,
regrets.
definitely. So was that like young Roma was a bit scared to go and was having cold feet and something, or did she just want, okay, I'm just going to overthink about it later. I'm just going to go.
Not really. I knew I wanted to because I've always been very passionate about seeing the world, and I at that time it was just my first opportunities to get out of home and see the world. So I was very excited. There was not a moment of cold feet. I had my sister, so it was a bit easier
Yeah.
managing things. But other than that, I was ready for all the challenges that were coming. I was very grateful for this, if
Mm.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
No regrets.
No, that's definitely like if like I was someone like who had a really hard time, even just from moving Hyderabad to Karachi, that's just like 2 hours drive. But for me, it was just like, oh my God, what is that? Where am I going? And it was really hard for me because even though it was 2 hours, the way we are brought
Hmm.
up in our society, like it's a lot
Hmm.
with people just being around you every time whenever you slip up. So it's never like you handling your own challenges on your own. So I think even like when for me in that way that was hard, but I think even though it was hard, it was the best decision I ever made to stay even at the hostel because
Mm,
I wouldn't trade the 4 years for anything else because of how much I have gained from it. People and even like the changes in my own self.
definitely.
Yeah. So now we are going to move towards some personal questions. Roma, sab nikal lungi main aap to. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Let's
So
go.
Okay, so since you are a middle child, mother,
Mhm.
mother, not really when it comes to, of course, your elder brother, but then again, he being in China, like you being the middle child. So what it's
Mhm.
like to be a middle child because I'm the eldest one. So I share a lot with Yumna, but I just wanted to ask you.
I think middle child have learned how to handle things not by themselves, but how to not take things seriously. I think that's very important. And I've been fine with a lot of challenges because of where I was placed in this lines. But uh yeah, it's been pretty chill. I don't think take things seriously. I do what I
Why is
want.
that?
I
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
care
Why
about
is that?
anybody's opinion.
Why? Why is that? Because it's the same thing with my brother. Because it's just me, then it's my brother, and then it's my two other brothers because we are four, but they're like twins, so that comes in one
Hmm.
pack, right? Even like my middle, like the brother that's like 1 year younger than me, he's just like that. He's just so carefree. Like even when I have to tell him, okay, responsible. Okay, if you want to be a man, be responsible, and it doesn't come easy to him. But I think your is of course that carefree, but then again you have that understanding of being responsible of a family and stuff like that. It's not like carefree of just anything, whatever the world goes, I don't care. Is it like that,
I
or I'm
think
just like you're like my
no,
brother?
it's not. No, no. I would not say it's not about I just don't care. I do care. I do care about a lot of things. I just don't want to get it to my head. And I think there are more important things in life than to care about these minor details. Irrelevant. You
That yeah,
cannot
that people fuss about. Yeah,
control these things. Yeah.
yeah,
So I like taking it easy. And there are a few things I would not take easy. Definitely.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, there comes with certain boundaries. But then again,
Mhm.
when it comes to being even like a middle child, do you think that you have a better relationship when it comes to your elder sister? Like, for example, of course, for some time it would be just you and Yumna, right? So, how is that
Mhm.
relationship with you without sharing anything, without Yumna being like, what is that? What are you saying?
I think it was nice to have her around, but like I said, we were in the same place, but we had very different lives. It barely intersected except when I get back home. And when I got back home, it was just like being at home. I had her throughout, for example, my high school or middle school or early years. So apart from that, I used to be in school. Thing is, I used to be there till 4 a.m., so I had very little life back home. It's the culture.
4 a.m.
I didn't want
for
to be there. Yeah, in
school?
studio. It was a yeah,
Oh,
it was very common.
what kind of school was that? 4 a.m.
It's called architectural school.
Oh, okay, okay. Sunny. You but it was like Yumna was like throughout your journey, she was always there as a default, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think in high school it was Nawal who was the default. So there has always been one sister at default.
Yeah, yeah.
And both of them have been there.
Yeah, and to be very honest, like I think this I have always seen you as someone who would like outpour emotions. Like if even if she's annoyed, it will be very much evident from your face. But when it comes to even your love, especially when I've seen your love to for Nawal, I that's really like apparent. But when but even like even if I take my example it's very difficult for me even to express emotion. So
Hmm.
why do you think that it comes easy to you? Because it's not like why does it? It's like I admire, but I just want to ask like how does it?
I don't think that's the complete truth. I think if you ask people around me, they would say I do not express at all. There are just certain people that I'm expressive with, but most of the time I'm not. I like processing things internally. It's very rare that I express myself. And when I do, it's usually with very close few friends. Actually, my friends used to ask me like, you would talk about everything in the world except yourself. And I think I've been like this throughout my life.
Yeah,
I do not like
that's
expressing.
yeah, like that's true as well. But then again, like even with certain people, like I have seen you with your dadi, and I have seen you with Nawal too. And it's just that even just from your face, it shows that how much love is there, and it just outpours like it's just like I feel that love as well. So how does it like even when it comes to like family? How like it comes easy to you even expressing emotions because it doesn't to me.
I don't know. I don't say it comes easy. It comes naturally. I don't have to try too hard for it. It's not about how easy it is, but it's just how I am as a person.
Ooh,
I really like being around them.
okay,
No,
that's
I mean, I really like being around them. So it's very natural.
okay, okay. What about you now?
Yeah,
We
that's a
won't
tough
tell you.
one.
I love it
No,
tough.
I do love her as well. It's
Of course.
just,
Different
it's
equation for different
easier.
people.
Hmm. It's easier to express it to your younger sibling than it is to older, I feel.
Really? I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think.
Yeah, I asked this question from Yumna too, and I was like, why is there so much like love when it comes to Nawal? And she's just like, for me, she's just this 10-year-old whiny girl, and still she is. So, what's your image? Because I think your relationship with Nawal is like more towards being expressive and all of that. So, do you still see her that 10-year-old and 9-year-old self?
Not really. I think I see her as my best friend who has been through years of schools with me. Like, not just few years. We were in the same class after eighth, but before that, we've always been schoolmates. We were in Mama Parsi together, we were in Roots together. So she has been more of a best friend than a sister to me. She would not agree with this, but that's it's true for me.
Yeah, okay. That's right. I think even when it comes to, I don't know why, even when me being an elder one, I think like I don't have to like I cannot compare because mere par to there's no one. But like when it comes to even my 1 year old like younger brother who's just 1 year younger than me, and the others the twins one, I think I am more close to the twins. Maybe like
Hmm.
what maybe what you said, I don't know about because I've seen them born, I've seen them grow up, I've seen them maybe take
Hmm.
first steps and all. I've seen that. But yeah.
Actually, there's a very good TED Talk I would recommend you. I recommend it to everyone. It's called The Birth Order. I forgot who was the speaker, but it is really great and it makes a lot of sense. You have to watch it. The Birth
I'm
Order,
going
TED
to.
Talk.
I'm
Just
going to.
you do it.
Yeah. I'm definitely also like when you are in a one household, you have like different personalities, even when you go out, even when you are at home. So how do you come up with, okay, I have like a different equation with this one, or this is how I'm going to deal with that, or different equation with that one, like even at home or even generally at life, like friends and stuff as well.
I think I'm more of a person, especially at home, who gets shit done. Even if it's a stressful situation, I don't panic. I do not react. I just find an alternate solution. And I've been this way throughout my life. I do not ponder upon why this happened to me or why this particular person did this to me. I just find an alternate solution with everything. So I think that's my personality at home and with friends as well. If things don't work out a certain way, I do not think about it. I'll just move to the next best step.
Okay. Oh, next best step. Okay. So if I ask you, how is
Mhm.
Roma as a friend in 3 words? So what 3 words would you choose?
I am selective, first thing first.
And
And I'll say what my friends told me. We had this session before leaving university. And my friends see me as somebody who's very warm. So I do get along with people easily. So yeah, that's 3 words. So
no,
warm,
that's selective and warm. That's
yeah, I'm
two.
selective, I'm warm. And I think I am, what could be the third one? I think I'm very accepting of people if I like them. So if I like you, you can do anything. You can murder a person. I do not give a
प्यार में पागल.
Yeah. Pyar mein pagal, that's the right.
Okay. Also,
But I
like,
have to like you at first. That's it.
okay, I hope like everyone else, I hope she likes me because she's अभी तक तो बोल ही रही है ये. ठीक है. Also like when I've seen you, like Nawal has been with you like Mama Parsi Nama बोल रही थी. Mama Parsi and then college and everything as well. So were you, when it comes to school, a kind of person, like after learning you're being selective? I know the answer, but then again, were you that kind of person who was able to gel in and make friends easily? Because you and Nawal have a lot of like mutuals, and I think you have mutuals a lot. That's why.
Yes. I think I do not like putting in the work of finding good people. I make Nawal do that work. And if I like them, if I vibe with them, I'll steal them. That's what I
Okay.
like doing. But
Okay.
in Mama Parsi, because we were in different grade, we had our own set of friends. But in Roots, since we were together, there were few people that she became friends with, and I said, okay, I like them. They're going to be my friend from now on. That was it.
So was it like ever like, okay, Nawal hanging out with a certain kind of people and you like certain kind of people because different personalities and like you just was able to hang out?
Yes, definitely. I think there had been range of people. Nawal can be friends with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I have a type. I have a very specific type with friends. And if I find that type, I'm gonna stick to them. So
Okay,
I
fine.
do not have a range of friends. A lot of my friends are usually like me, a lot of them. So I have a certain type, I will stick with them and I'll be friends with them throughout the life. Nawal keeps on changing wherever she goes.
I think it's like previously I was of this mindset, like for example, I have this group and I don't know, did it like did it show? No, 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 it doesn't. 10 minutes timer. I was just saying if that's there. It's not.
Hmm.
So I always had this friend group, and I would just
Hmm.
stick with them. And for me, it
Hmm.
was always like, okay, if they're there, and nothing could go bad and everything like that. But of course, like when you grow and when you have different personalities, you grow in different way. You sometimes it just doesn't work out. And for me, even right now, yes, what you're saying, that being selective, and I think it comes with, people always say okay, introverts are not that great, but I think being an introvert is so great, because you can be the most talkative person, and then you can be the most quiet person, because you choose quietness, you are selective in that way. So right now, I think what I've realized through life is that when you just accept that yes, you are selective and you are that way, somehow the people just gravitate towards you, and you just find somehow, okay, this is like equation, yeah, good equation, or this is type of
Hmm.
equation, stuff like that. And I think somehow like that happens. I think like at the hostel, I just found out this thing, that when I stopped trying to fit in, because of course hostel was hard, somehow at the end, like people who were meant to stick together did stick together in that way.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah, that is so true. And I have like been through different friends and everything, but I think at the end of the day, it's all about like people you resonate with in a lot of ways. And yeah, that's
Yes.
correct. That's so nice. Also, I want to add, when it comes to female friendship, do you think female friendships are important?
Yes, definitely. I think honestly, I never approach friendship
Yeah, you were saying about female friendship.
Yeah, I think I've never approached friendship before thinking about the gender, but I have somehow always gravitated towards female friends more because I think they feel safer than I do have great male friends as well, but female friendship feels like sisterhood more than the friendship. And since I grew up with sisters, I see that it's so necessary to survive in this world. So for me, my female friends are more like my sisters, I would say. I do not
But
think I can live without them. It's so important.
what do you have to say to people who says औरत औरत की दुश्मन होती है, and that's translated, the woman is, another woman's biggest enemy.
Can I curse on your? Okay, I'm not
No, no,
going to.
you can.
I don't buy it. Bullshit. I don't think. Okay, there are some patriarchal women, I do agree, but there men has caused more harm to women than any woman ever could. You can't even imagine that level of.
That no, that's true. But for example, even when it comes to this narrative, some women have this narrative even as well. And even like, of course, like I do believe that we are blessed to have good people around, even when it comes to
Mhm.
friends. Like, but a lot of like times I have seen how, like, just even when it comes to this household of the mother-in-law and sister-in-law and the girl that has just entered this new life, there's, there's so much friction. There is so much friction that it just gets really weird, that how come you are like this when it comes to you being a woman and that being a woman. So
I don't
that's a question.
think I don't think that's the case. It's just men get the easy way out in a lot of things. Even when it's their fault in a marriage, no one is going to blame them. They will always say it's the mother-in-law or it's the sister-in-law. They always get the easy way out, and it's easier to pit one again another than actually take the blame. So I think I don't agree with that statement.
Really,
I
I
have
have seen that.
never, f- I've never felt any, I've never felt threatened by any woman, to be
No,
honest.
you never like. It's not me like we have. I'm saying about what has we have seen in the society. Like even when it comes to the dramas and even the movies that we see, it's so much around this women, these, inside causing this malicious intent and everything. And I know a lot of comes with like the director who somehow happens to be a male. But then again, like, I think if these things are there, they're there for some reason. So do you think like those things have you seen happening, and why do you think that if like you have like a different understanding when it comes to female friendship, but sometimes that doesn't work out?
I'll be honest, I've never seen that happening, and it's not because, honestly, call me a misandrist, but I turn a blind eye towards women's sport. I'm sorry. I don't see it. Even if they're wrong, they cannot be wrong. So,
I think in
yeah,
this conversation the default is that men are wrong, and then we continue with everything else.
true. I I think it's just how we have socialized in a way. हमें बचपन से बताया जा रहा है कि you know this language and the narrative, it shapes your thinking as well. It's not the other way around.
Yeah,
You are shaped by these words and इस तरह की बातें कि women are women's enemy. Or once you start believing them, it you will see them. It will happen to
yeah,
you. It's
yeah,
just how that's how your perspectives are shaped. So I do not believe it and I do not agree with this just because I refuse to let it shape my perspective. You can call it I turn a blind eye towards it because that's the truth. If something is being fed to you since a long time, at one point you will start believing it.
yeah,
Even उसमें होगा, I bet there is some truth to it. There are some malicious women, but it has nothing to do with gender. There are malicious men as well. There are malicious women as well.
yeah.
It's just a human trait, not a gender trait.
Yeah, that's true. And I think when it comes to even our society and we surviving as women, like even like you being in construction tech, and
Hmm.
right now I am living in Karachi like all alone,
Hmm.
even like going out, even booking a taxi, even doing just these simple things, we have to think so much about these simple things. Okay, what time do you have to leave, what time do you have to back so that it's not that dark, so that it's not that weird, the person who is
That's true.
driving. So like it comes with so many challenges.
That is true.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not easy living alone, and
yeah,
especially in a city like Karachi. I think it was very challenging for me as well in Karachi. Just the basic stuff, nothing happened or nothing serious. Just navigating around the basic life things, getting grocery, moving from one
yeah,
place to
yeah,
another.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It required so much mental energy that at one point I started questioning if it's worth it. And
yeah,
honestly, I just felt it wasn't. That's why I decided to move. I did
yeah,
not want to spend my time thinking about these basic
yeah.
things that should come easy in any functioning
Exactly,
society.
exactly. Like, yeah, right now I have like, because of hostel, I think I found like my own space. And after like that COVID and now me moving here, I've seen that okay, when I live alone, I'm able to do things, I'm able to be more like productive in that sense. So so when it comes to like those mental challenges, like I'm also like that. I'm just like I really don't want to think about it, and I just pray, okay, please Allah, please sab kuch sahi kar de. And I just go because I want to be able to walk. I want to be able to do groceries. I want to like
True.
travel alone. Like I want to do those things. I don't want that society's expectations that you need to have a husband to even go out. Like I don't want a man.
Thing is, in Karachi, they've made it so difficult. Agar mujhe, for example, I need a carton of milk.
Yeah,
It is so challenging. You either overpay through these delivery apps or you walk in a very unsafe neighborhood that is coming out to eat your life. And that's how I felt. Or these things should come very easy. I'm
Yeah.
coming from work, I take a bus or anything, go to a grocery shop and get these things. Things does not require mental energy like it did in Karachi.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of the major reason I didn't want to spend more time there.
Also,
I
I
felt it was
do
not worth.
definitely, but I do think like now the way I see it, maybe it's coming from like a different perspective. It's coming from how you are, but I do see that things have changed for some. But me, it can
Mhm.
be because I haven't had those experiences and I'm still in my bubble. So I am saying that because I do take rickshaws. I have sat in a local bus because like it was just so much cheaper than just booking a taxi or something like that.
Mhm.
But I want to say it has gotten better, but then again, when you actually hear the horrifying stories, it always comes down to like, have I been living in my own bubble? It's just like that.
Mm.
So yeah, that's true. One thing that I don't know, I joined Thread, so I recently saw this and I really want your perspective on it. Do you think that as people grow up, it's harder to make friends?
I think yes and no at the same time. Yes, because you don't have the exposure to different people like you did in school and college and universities. It was much easier to find people like-minded, same ages. Once you grow older and start working in an office, you probably see the same few handful of people, and it's difficult to find people because everything is you have to find common interest. So I think in adulthood it is difficult, and it's only because of the lack of exposure, not because of the lack of skills.
Mm, that's true. Even like, I think when I was here, I was always this quiet and reserved person. But when I was here and I find out, okay, I have friends abroad and I have friends over here who
Mm,
are married. So I need to do something about me just moving around over here. So I built communities like, for example, this running circle, this reflection circle,
mm.
and also like this Girls of Karachi circle where we can just hang out and just feel like, okay, there's some women out there that we can sit with and have a good time with, right? But
Definitely.
although, like, I had this idea, but I do think that it it can be easy to reaching out to people, like meeting new people. It's very easy. Like there are apps, even like Friends app and stuff like that. But I think what
Mhm.
becomes difficult is whom you call a friend or even a close friend. Because I think that definition really changes when you grow up.
That is true, but I would disagree to a certain extent because I lived with few people. By no definition, we would be called friends. We were good flatmates. We were good people, but I found them uh, very dependable. Like if I were in trouble, I could call them and ask for help. So I think it depends. It's a difference of personality rather than just who your friend or who your colleague is. You can get close to even your colleague at work. I do not believe that you should not be friends with colleagues. You
No, no,
definitely
no,
should. These
no,
are
no,
the
no.
people you spend most of the time
नहीं नहीं वो नहीं my perspective is different. I'm just like you are going
with.
to
Hmm.
find those people. Like for example, even when it comes to a flatmate, yes, you can depend on them.
Hmm.
Yes, you can rely on them and even sit with them. But there
Hmm.
always comes this benchmark that have they crossed that mark of you calling them a friend. I'm saying as you grow up, whom you call a friend that becomes like a very restricted circle, and those whom you let in, that becomes like quite selective. Even when it comes to like office, of course you will have colleagues and you will talk, and maybe one of the people you are going to be close with, but then again, whom you will be, that would be like questionable. That's what I'm
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But people I worked with in Karachi, I would call them my friends. They still visit me here in Islamabad. I do
Really?
hang
That's
out with
nice.
them whenever they come here. So I don't think it's restricted by who is my friend. If I vibe with them, I will take you along
Yeah.
through every stage
Yeah.
of my life. There is
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, exactly. Because like I've had friends for like 2 decades, and then with different opinions, we have to maintain that difference. And with these people like Nawal and everyone, we just met at the hostel. Of course, like we are living, we are not supposed to be friends. We just living. And it was okay just being in different rooms, have different worlds and that. But that's the thing, like when you vibe and you find that people, okay, you know what,
yeah,
there is somewhat connection, then you somehow just stick, and you stick, I think,
yeah,
for the better in that way. And as you grow up, and I
definitely.
think that even though that circle becomes quite restricted, I do think that the friendship that you make along the way as you're growing up means more to you
Hmm.
than you have known since like forever. Because I think when
Definitely.
you're growing up, you're not trying to be friend, you're just trying to survive. So you're just your true self in that way.
True. And I think with hostel friends or dorm friends, you basically grew up with these people. You
Yeah,
eat with
yeah,
them, you cry with them, you laugh with them. So they definitely become an integral part of your life. You can't
yeah,
leave
yeah,
them. I like these people, I haven't met them since I left Turkey, but we're still talking more than a friend who's probably living like 5 kilometers away. So
yeah,
it's the difference of who you grew up with, and it's a very transformative years of your life, your university days. You are growing from a child into an adult. So
yeah.
I think those
That's nice.
friendship
That's a
are
good way
very
to put it.
special.
Yeah, yeah, I do think that. But yeah, it's amazing. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, also this, like when it comes to you being in school and you right now, so were you like this cheerful and this colorful person always, like, or were you like, okay, Nawal's sister and someone who quite reserved and very selective who she talks to and stuff like that?
I think I had a transition of personalities throughout my different stages.
Yeah.
For example, in Mama Parsi, my middle school, I was very loud, very opinionated, and I was everywhere. But once I shifted to roots in high school, I kind of settled, my personality took a very different shift. I was not talking a lot. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was because uh, Nawal had a more outgoing, extroverted personality that mine had to take a backseat. Maybe it was that. But I got it back when I got in university. I was the same old self once I moved to university. So
Uh,
it has been a different transition.
yeah. And what about right now?
I think it's a mixture of both. So
Mixture of both.
it also
Yeah.
depends on what kind of people I'm with, what kind of personality they bring out in me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's nice. Also, like, I feel like when it comes to you accepting the way you are, even if there are changes, I think that, like, that self grounded when you are, I think that's the most best feeling. You're able to sit with yourself, and then you are able to just hang out with people without needing to hang out with, without needing those people. So I just find it really
definitely.
amazing. And I just find it so, like, just I feel so proud whenever I talk to women and they are so grounded in who they are and they like own up to it and they are like that. And it
Mm,
just feels so nice, like, yes, this is how you should be. This is how, and like, you we shouldn't be defined by society, and even we shouldn't be defined by like a lot of my conversations with women is like, okay, when even when it comes to you choosing someone for marriage or stuff like that, you don't need to conform to what society is presenting to you. Like, if society is saying there are no good men, that doesn't mean you lower your standards.
mm,
Your standards come from your
yeah,
own expectations, the work you have put in being who you are, and then you put your expectations out there, and not like other way around. So it's always has been
definitely.
like that. But like, having conversation. It's just really nice that women are finding their way to who they are, which is
Definitely. It's a journey.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Also, like when it comes to even your transitions, do you think that those transitions were because, okay, because of your struggles? Also, like, because for me, it was always like, even though like I'm 28 right now,
Hmm.
it's just feel like I've been through so many versions of myself that I'm just like, okay, now what? And like I right now, like I don't think my even me 20-year-old would even think about doing something like that. So do you think all those struggles have made you the kind of person you are today, or do you think that the successes and the opportunities you get, those have changed you?
I think I am a different person depending on the people more than the circumstances.
Okay.
So, for just to give an example, if I'm with introverts, I'm very extroverted, I'm very loud. But if it's the opposite, if I'm with extroverted, I become a bit quieter on my own. Not because I'm shy or scared or anything. It just takes a different shift. So I think it depends on the energy of the people I'm around with rather than the
Mhm.
circumstances itself.
Okay, but if, for example, you
Hmm.
take yourself as, someone else, and when you see Roma, what do you think are the three most things that it's in her that you would immediately gravitate towards and you would be want to friends with for the rest of your life?
I think being authentic, like I really value this trait, just being their true self, that you don't have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
act out. It's very important for me. You have to be very authentic. Then also I really like kind people. I think everyone does. It goes without saying. So doesn't have to be very performative in a sense that you don't have to
yeah,
go out of your way. Just basic consideration, even in conversations. I
yeah,
really like that. Because there are some people who only think about themselves when they're
yeah,
talking in a room. So people who are noticing the hidden things, I really admire that quality.
yeah.
And and third, I think you have to be, I would say, सिर्फ authentic ही मुझे I think if I've that would be a bit weird, but I really like you have to be a feminist to be my friend. I really value that trait. It's a cause that's very important to me. Maybe you don't say it out loud, but you believe in equal opportunity for everyone, not just for women. And I really gravitate towards people who have this quality. Being a woman's woman. I wouldn't call it a feminist, but being a woman's woman.
Women's would, yeah, yeah. I think way like the mindset, it's about like
Hmm.
bringing like a bigger change and like a good
Hmm.
thing and not just being that outwardly. And even like what you were saying, I was just thinking about this one time, like when it was one of my friends' wedding in Islamabad, and I just met these two people that I didn't even know, and for some reason we were able to have conversation for like 2 hours or 3 hours, and we both were like, um, I was just like, I said to my mother, like, they're so kind and they're so good people. Like, they didn't even want anything in return. Like, how can? And like, of course, she said to me that still imprinted, like, the same kind of people gravitate towards same kind of people and stuff like that. But then again, yeah, I think when you find for me, it's just like it's very hard to find that good people, the kind people. And when people do, I just tell them to just stick with them because it's really hard in this world to find. good people and
Yes.
kind, who actually care about other people other than themselves, or be, fidgety about these small things. Just
Definitely.
last thing that I want to have conversation with, that I resonate with a lot, is like, you gym and exercise is very important to you. Even when you were mentioning like working, you mentioned
Mm.
that I have to go to the gym and like that. So was it like always like that, or like gym has transformed something in you that you're just like, I cannot be without
I
it?
think I would not say it from it's always been like that, but I think since A levels, I have been into some sort of fitness. I
Okay.
started with Chloe Ting's workout to
Oh, who hasn't?
cardio to Zumba to starting tennis, kickbox. I've done everything, all kind of sports. So
Kickboxing
I've
too?
naturally, yeah, I've
That's
naturally
nice.
gravitated towards sports. I enjoy it and I do like being active. But gym has been a more recent one because I've seen my parents and grandparents and how they've aged, and it has awakened something in me that I do not want to age like them. I do
Yeah.
not want.
Yeah. And was it like, yes, taking inspiration, or was it always like, also like, for example, I need to work on my mental health? Because for me, I started gym because I didn't even know I had that sporty side in me. It was always okay, no,
Mhm.
I'm the procrastinator, I'm that lazy person. But then again, when it came to me actually starting going to the gym, and even though it started with mental health, it just it just opened so many avenues for me, that I started boxing, I started tennis, I started kung fu as well. So for
Oh,
me, it
wow.
started with mental health. So was that similar for you, or like it was for you that, okay, sporty thing is something that interests me, but also now gym is because I don't want to be dependent on other people even when I grow old.
It did start in some sort of way. I used to always get very intense PMS symptoms. And it included PMDD, so the depressive episode you get before your
Yeah,
menstruation. I I had very intense episodes of that, and I think when I started going to the gym, I noticed a lot of change in that.
yeah, yeah,
So these symptoms became very manageable for me, and it brought a very positive impact in my life because it would be at least 2 weeks of my whole month just being in that state of mind. And I do not like being in that state of mind.
yeah,
No one does. So I think it didn't start with that, but I recognized how it helped me during that part of my life.
yeah.
And I think I stuck to this whole gym and fitness thing for so long was mainly because of this, how manageable those symptoms were because I was being a regular.
Yeah, for me, like, of course, like these symptoms have so much impact on mental health, and for me, it was
Hmm.
about that. At the very start, it was just like not wanting to go to the gym, then going to the gym. So it was very like
Hmm.
just going and not going. And although I started boxing, I was very irregular. And of course, even my trainer thought, okay, she won't stick definitely, because women usually
Hmm.
don't stick when it comes to boxing. But when I actually experienced and felt the way it changed me, I would be in the gym for 2.5 hours. And even it was a very like local gym. It was very male dominant gym. So even the men would have left. So I would be still there. I would do boxing, then I would do weight training, and then I would go, because it's because I think I have a really big problem when it comes to my attention span. It's very like it's that of a squirrel, to be honest. So for me, just to have that focus in the gym just transformed it. Reached even to a level, this guy actually came to me and he was just like, "You are always there at the gym. You're always there. Like it's so much. Like it's so hot outside, but you're still there for 2.5 hours. Like what are you planning for? Like just maybe like having like kill someone or something like that." And I was just like, no, no, it's not that. It's just about I have to, I did it for my mental health. And also, a lot of people, of course, don't resonate with it, but it's just so important, like exercise, like getting a workout in. Like, I cannot
Definitely.
stress
And
this
I think
enough.
after a certain point, if you don't go to the gym, you feel bad. Not
Yeah.
because you missed a workout, but because you don't feel as good. It's very
Yeah.
important for that dopamine.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so weird that even before, like when I was going to the gym, when I was regular and I was taking care even of the food I taken, I see a drastic change. Okay, if I eat like a really bad food, and for example, junk food and stuff like that, if I clean
Mhm.
eating, like such a big
Mm.
difference on my mind, like clarity right now. Like I've just been trying that I get back to the gym because it's just so important, and I've been just messing with everything with food and stuff, and like it's crazy. But now comes the ending of featuring Roma up, and it was amazing. But of course, this fun segment. Okay, last segment we always have with just that we ask questions that we have already made, but this time the things
Mhm.
are going to go different. I don't have my flashcards, but I do have questions written. So what we are going to do, since I don't have flashcards and I would want Roma to pick a flashcard, right now she's going to pick a number, and the list that I made, we'll see that what question she chooses, and we both will have to answer that same question, right?
Right.
So let's go. Drum roll, and just choose a number, any number, because I really don't know.
All right. I think 8.
Eight? Okay, okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. It says, would you choose peace even if it's meant to be misunderstood?
Elaborate. What do you mean?
Would you choose peace even when it's meant to be misunderstood? Like, even if people are, even if, for example, some people are like, I want people to understand what I'm trying to say, and they are going to go like ballistics on that person, like no, no, understand and everything like that and stuff like that, because they have to make their point, and not only make their point, they want other people to get it. But some people are like they're going to make their point, and other person didn't get it. That's okay. I need peace and everything.
Uh, it's a bit situational, depends on the people. If I really care about you, then there is no peace. Then I want to clarify everything.
Brutal.
But if I not care about you, if you're just a casual friend to me or just an acquaintance, then peace, definitely. Then I do not have to prove anything. But for my loved ones, I need them to see my POE.
Okay. But if you had to choose
What
right
about you?
now,
I think take the loved one. Yeah, you have to see
yeah.
my POE.
Okay. Okay. I think for me, previously it would be like, no, I want to make my point. No, I want you to understand. And I don't know what you're saying. Right now, I'm just like, it's okay. And I choose peace, peace. And even when it's come to having conversation with my mother, or even like when it comes to friends, because I've been in situations where it's all like it's very hard for people to understand because situation different, struggles different. So I'm just like, I choose peace. It's okay if you don't understand, if you okay, because but sometimes it's just that even if you don't understand, the basic thing that I need is be kind even when you are not
Mm.
able to understand. That's okay because people have different pain, different situation. So for me, that's a default. If someone not meet that default, then that's questionable. But for me, it's just that I choose peace, like whenever, wherever. It's okay. That's that.
I need to reach that level of Zen. I have not achieved it.
Yeah, you will. I'm pretty sure you are there. And that's the end. And you were saying that you need interview skills and you need classes. Bro, this went amazing. Like you were amazing. What were you saying? You were amazing in this. You shared so much
I
and it
don't
was really good.
know. Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
for listening to me,
of
willing
course.
to have this conversation.
Willing to sit with you. Okay, so
Yes.
that's conclude our episode 4. Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4. And let's see who comes next. And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.